All right, ladies and gents, how are ya? This is Fractal Briefs. So, Prost, und so weiter. Behind me, there is a certificate of appreciation, because I received a survey from Arbor Day, which I filled out, blah blah blah, etc. It got me thinking along environmental lines again, and as I've been talking about for the past year or so on my website Fractal Journal, as well as here on this vlog channel, I'm interested in water and the environment. Person that got me started thinking about this was actually back in high school, environmental science teacher who we'll call Dr. W, a very boomerific boomer, but aside from that, a generally good lad. And we had to do this project where we would design an environmentally sound city. One very odd sort of fellow thought we'd live in bubbles and ride horses. I don't understand where that came from. But my thing was like use canals for transportation, like the Dutch. And I've been to them once when I was younger. I thought it was very nice. They were all very tall, especially when I was like, how old was I back then? Very young. So they were extremely tall to me. Anyway. What I'm getting at is, how do we create a society that lives in conjunction with the environment? And that's the thing. It's a society that lives in conjunction with the environment, not where the environment is like such a focus to where people are like religious about it, to where it kind of takes away from the rights and the livelihoods of people, and oftentimes people that are less well off than a lot of us that can sit in our cozy little hipster offices and drink our hipster microbrewery beers. It's gonna have to be a system of behaviors which is kind of codified in a constitution of sorts. That's the thing, that's the beauty of the United States government, the system of checks and balances and the Constitution and the elasticity clause and all of that, and the fact that Enlightenment thinking accounts for, human predilections, if that's the proper word. I got a lot of words buzzing around in my head. Sometimes they strike right, sometimes they strike wrong, but, human foibles. And also is systems of incentive, etc. So you are incentivized to do the right thing, and there's kind of a deterrence to doing the wrong thing. Not necessarily through a legalistic system of punishment and like monetary reward or whatever, but just in the actual functioning of the system. Getting really, really word salady cloudy here. So let me clarify. Basically, make it to where it's enticing to live in a balanced way, and to where we set up processes that allow us to create all the goods that are necessary to pull people out of poverty, while at the same time not poisoning our water supply. And I think that's actually doable. It takes partially technological solutions, but mostly I think behavioral solutions, and not necessarily super conservatism with like resources and stuff like that, but just there's going to be a measure of that, but just the way that we think about building cities. For instance, one example is making cities more porous so that water isn't displaced the way it is when there's a large area that's paved over. Which leads to a lot of mess with the way that the water cycle works in those areas, and pollution builds up, etc. So anyway, just some food for thought. And I know this is nothing new, but that's the thing about working on these kinds of issues. A lot of it has to do with bringing forth, not necessarily even raising awareness, but keeping focus on a subject matter, because especially when things are so mundane, like you don't think about them and then you forget to do them. Like I almost didn't fill out that survey in time, even though it was in a big envelope on my desk. And I'm getting I think like several free trees out of it, which is amazing. So I'm gonna plant some trees in my yard. So I'm pretty happy about that. And this is my filler content for the week. I did try to, I'm not just like calling this filler, but I'm saying I apologize for my lack of content because I'm starting the year off really slowly, lots of research and reading and stuff that I'm doing, so posting is still going to be kind of scarce until, like everybody else, I divide my year into quarters, until this first quarter gets into like the probably third portion of it, and then I'll start posting more and more regularly. Anyway, cheers.